The chairman, I want to finish the line of questioning that I started before. Ms. Aguirre, I'm going to come back to you on something more specific, but just on this simple question. You told a story of Maria Gonzalez, the 11-year-old girl who was taken from her father and was killed by a 17-year-old Guatemalan released into the United States. Is that correct? In microphones, yes.
That's
so that
right.
is correct. And then I would say for Ms. Fundner, your son Weston lost his life to fentanyl poisoning, correct?
Correct.
Now, unlike the specifics of some of these other witnesses, you can't say for certain exactly how that fentanyl got through to your son. But you would agree that Weston is one of hundreds of thousands, correct? I think one of you testified to 300,000 lost lives.
Absolutely.
And so the many faces of fentanyl, right? The many faces of fentanyl. Can we say that we are losing more Americans to fentanyl poisoning as a direct consequence of open borders allowing fentanyl to pour into our communities? Would you agree with that, Ms. Fundner?
100%.
We have witnesses here at the table talking about the crimes that affected them directly. I would ask Sheriff Bedreau, just a kind of a yes or no or quick response to this question. In 2021, there were 11,200 pounds of fentanyl seized. You go to crime, in 2022, we had 12,000 criminal alien arrests at the border. In 23, border agents apprehended 15,000 criminals. With 2 months left in FY24, we are also at 15,000 criminal arrests, and the year isn't over yet, so it's surging. But here's the real problem, because my colleagues on the other side of the aisle will say, oh, look, it's working, they're doing their job. But while Border Patrol has intercepted those increasing numbers of criminals, DHS whistleblowers revealed on August 11th, 24, that as many as 950,000 violent criminals have gone unidentified. In your experience, do you think it is an accurate assessment that scores, thousands of criminals are coming into the United States and being released or getting away from authorities?
That is accurate and true.
And that, in your experience, you see it in real time. Is that correct, Sheriff?
In real time.
So we've talked about all of the impacts on the individuals that are testifying here. Ms. Aguirre, I wanted to see if this would surprise you. I released a report, my office did, entitled Border Invasion, or America Invaded. And in it, I detailed 50 examples that we found, 50 examples, and there were more. We had to cut the list off in order to make sure we had room. Let me just read a few of these across the country and see if you agree that you think this is a problem and what you're experiencing in your life representing people that are victims. September 3rd, the consequences of the Biden-Harris administration's open border policies, the case of the illegal alien brutally assaulting a teenage Louisiana girl. August 30th, the case of the illegal alien who brutally assaulted a New York woman. August 17th, Brazilian migrant accused of multiple Massachusetts sex crimes arrested. August 15th, Haitian illegal immigrant charged with raping pregnant woman at Massachusetts migrant motel. August 15th, U.S. officials nab Peruvian gang leader wanted for nearly 24 killings in home country. August 14th, machete wielder at Capitol was a legal immigrant despite being a priority, quote unquote, for detention. August 13th, migrant charged with rape in third NYC sex crime bust of an asylum seeker in 2 weeks. August 12th, NYC migrants, including one charged in sex assault 4 months ago, raped woman at knife point, beat her boyfriend. August 7th, Venezuelan migrant with suspected gang ties released in the United States before terrorizing NYC and is yet to be deported. I can go all the way back, date by date, through the year, into last year, November 4th, 2021. Without objection, I'll insert this into the record and the thousands of examples that are plaguing Americans across the country. With that background, one, Ms. Aguirre, can you confirm that these are just a sampling of what you're experiencing as a victim advocate out of Houston and people that are contacting you across the country, that this is not hyperbole, that this is not political, that these are in fact real human beings that we're trying to advocate for? And secondly, can you explain to the American people why was Maria targeted?
You know, I'm going to start with the fact that the reason there's so many sexual assaults committed by illegal immigrants is because in their countries, there's very little consequences. Meaning that when there's a girl found that has been raped and murdered, it's not unusual. There isn't DNA collection, and there's no embalming, and there's no autopsy. She's buried. And along with her is what they did to her. So these predators thrive in these countries. And if you're not from those countries, you don't know that. Everybody thinks that it's like America everywhere else, and it's simply not. So when they come to this country to do this, it's because they're accustomed to doing that in their countries. And this is the problem with letting everybody in. And the case of Maria Gonzalez echoes this, because also Maria was here illegally as well. But her and her father were living an honorable, quiet, hardworking life, while this other individual came into this country as a child migrant, came in at 17 years old, and he was 18 years old when he killed her. 3 weeks into being in this country, and he killed her. The reason he chose her is because she's a child. The second reason, because she's a beautiful little girl. And the third is because she was vulnerable. They don't even have respect for their own communities, because both of these individuals were from Guatemala. Did that stop him from killing her? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it was not necessarily something that we could say, oh, well, you know, she passed away peacefully. No, she passed away fighting. She passed away hurting. She passed away losing nails, biting him, trying to get him off of her in her own home. These individuals see a little girl and they have an appetite for her. They see a woman and they have an appetite for her, because they do this in their country and it's not unusual. These are the type of people that we're letting in. By not checking, we don't know who's coming in. And you're not only, while you're reading your list, a lot of these people that they're harming are within their own, seeking the people that are in their hotels as well, that are also migrants that are being hurt. So they're hurting each other. And the same, like as you two are here in the testimony, Ms. Lopez and Dr. Mendez, you guys advocate for immigrants, but immigrants are also being victims of these bad immigrants. I just don't understand how we could let everybody in without checking them.
Thank you, Ms. Aguirre. I yield back.